Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Monday, April 20th, 2015. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. The Nevis Division of the Royal St. Christopher and the Nevis Police Force is asking anyone who has information pertaining to the fatal shooting of 57-year-old Everett Hanley, which occurred on Friday night, to report it to the Violent Crimes Unit at 469-5269, the nearest police station, or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477. Initial investigations reveal that Hanley, a senior official at the Bank of Nevis, was attacked by an unknown armed assailant or assailants in front of his Hamilton Estate residence at about 9:50 p.m. on Friday. A release issued by the police says an autopsy will be performed on the body of the deceased to determine the cause of death. It also notes that Ian Creeley, the Assistant Commissioner of Police responsible for crime, assures that every effort will be made to bring the perpetrator or perpetrators of this fatal incident to justice. Meantime, the police are investigating two other incidents which took place on Friday. On Friday afternoon, a man was also robbed while on the construction site of a home he is building not far from where Hanley lived. The man is said to have had his neck chain, wedding band, and money taken from him at gunpoint. Also on Friday afternoon, employees of Caribbean Cable stationed at an office near its antenna site in the area were robbed at gunpoint of personal effects. Police person and Public Relations Inspector Lyndon David is urging residents to be on their guard and on the lookout for unusual activity and to report it. The St. James's Parish is set to become the home of a new development, the 8th Trip Candy Resort. The resort's groundbreaking ceremony was held on Friday, April 17th at Libert Estate. Chief Executive Officer and General Manager of 8th Trip, John Lee, says the resort will provide locals with jobs and upon completion will further advertise Nevis as an investment destination.
8th Trip will develop 3 projects in Nevis. The Candy Resort is the first one. It is located on 4.4 acres of land and will cost $20 million. The project will provide Nevis with many jobs, and when it's completed, it will add further to Nevis as an investment destination. The other 2 projects will be at Destin Hill in St. George and Parkwork in St. James. We will complete the Candy Resort by December 2016. So, as you can see, 8th Trip will be here to stay. And when I am ready to retire many years from now, don't be surprised if I retire right here on Nevis, because I'm no Neviser.
The 8th Trip Candy Resort is a citizenship by investment program approved project. In his remarks, Deputy Premier and Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Mark Brantley, noted that projects on Nevis ought to be given priority so that the economic expansion on the island can continue.
We promise the people of Nevis that when projects come now, they will be signed off immediately. Deputy PM, I'm happy that you're here to hear me say that, because Nevis projects need to be given some priority, and we will ensure that Mr. Lee, the next project, the second and the third and the fourth, do not take as long as this one took, and so that we can continue the economic expansion, which is so important to the people of Nevis. I want to congratulate you, sir, and your team. I want to wish you every success, and I pray and hope that this project augurs well for the people of Nevis.
Also participating in the groundbreaking ceremony was Deputy Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Sean Richards.
The members of the Nevis Island Administration continue to forge international relationships that will serve to accrue financial, social, cultural, and numerous other benefits for Nevis. I have been advised that the 8th Trip Candy Resort project is the first of many that Mr. Lee, CEO and General Manager of 8th Trip and First Director of Caribbean Development Consultant Limited, intends to develop right here on Nevis. After perusing 8th Trip's resort model, I hasten to note that it is evident that Nevis has magic. Nevis has magnetism, and that Nevis has magnificent traits that investors from various continents will continue to seek. And the Candy Resort and others that will be developed by Mr. Lee and his team will further amplify its allure.
Junior Minister and resident of the St. James's Parish, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, expressed gratitude on behalf of Area Representative the Honorable Alexis Jeffers.
We are happy that the investors, having traversed the area and the island of Nevis, has selected this spot to to make it their major investment spot. We are indeed grateful. We look forward to this form of partnership. We look forward to working diligently to make this major investment the success that it will be. On behalf of the persons of St. James's and on behalf of the Senior Minister, Alexis Jeffers, I welcome you, and we do appreciate this investment coming to St. James's. Once again, thank you to the investors who have chosen St. James's as their place of residence.
Minister Brantley Lee and H-Trip's local office executive, Terrella Byron, performed the ceremonial groundbreaking. The H-Trip Candy Resort will be made up of 3 17-room units and is expected to be completed by December of 2016. Coming up after the break, Culturama Committee to reintroduce Soca Monarch competition. Stay tuned.
Here now is a notice from the Nevis Electricity Company Limited, NEVLEC. NEVLEC wishes to inform the general public of its disconnection schedule for the month of April 2015.
St. Thomas's Parish, April 15th.
St. Paul's Parish, April 22nd.
St. John's Parish, April 27th.
St. George's Parish, April 28th.
St. James Parish, April 29th. Please settle all arrears in full on or before the dates specified to avoid disconnection of service. Please take note that a $100 reconnection fee will be charged. Reconnection of service will be done within 24 hours of payment.
Fit and fun. Culturama 41.
Welcome back. Senior Minister in the federal government and Minister responsible for disaster management in the NIA, the Honorable Vance Amory, represented St. Kitts and Nevis at the 9th round of the Resilient Dialogue Series. The series was hosted by the World Bank Global Facility for Disaster Reduction and Recovery, the Government of Japan, the European Commission, and USAID as part of the World Bank Group International Monetary Fund spring meetings. Working with more than 400 partners, the Global Facility for Disaster Reduction and Recovery provides grant financing and technical assistance to mainstream disaster and climate risk management policies into country-level strategies. The second of 5 panelists to make a contribution, Amory explained that in response to a series of devastating hurricanes since 1995, St. Kitts and Nevis has embarked on serious training, education, and the development of the Federation's human resource as part of its national emergency plan.
Since 1998, we have introduced some very strict building codes to ensure that construction of new residences and new buildings of whatever sort, that they meet a standard which could withstand. We're looking at a category 4. I think anything above that, I don't know what could withstand the category 5 hurricane. So our plan is really to use the experiences that we've had to provide resilience in terms of our reconstruction plans, to look at the way our people are trained and prepared to respond. And government itself, we are the main managers of that process. But we have, by and large, enlisted the private sector. Whenever we have an event, the private sector are very willing to participate in the preparatory arrangements, but also in the recovery arrangements. incidents which transpire.
With the new Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction in place to guide resilience efforts going forward, there is now a need to explore options to secure financing of the priorities and the targets set by the new framework. The Culturama Committee will this year reintroduce a Soca Monarch competition to the Culturama calendar of activities. The competition, which was introduced in 1999, has been absent from the calendar for the last 12 years, so notes Executive Director of the festival's Secretariat, Antonio Liebert.
We will reintroduce it to the calendar this year because it has become a major feature of festivals around the region. Now we know that Culturama is somewhat unique, but we felt that the Soca Monarch competition, it is for the younger people, people who are into music production, who are into performances, and so we have decided to give the young generation who is into soca music an opportunity to showcase their skills at producing soca music and also at performance.
Liebert says with the reintroduction of the Soca Monarch competition, however, some changes have been made to the original format.
Previously, the format that we used for the Soca Monarch competition was a somewhat open format, where persons would come and they would sing either up-tempo songs or songs of a sort of groovy nature. This year, we have decided that we are going to divide the Soca Monarch competition into two categories. First, we'll have a groovy category. And in the groovy category, the song should not be any faster than 125 beats per minute. Now, in judging the Soca Monarch competition this year, the groovy category will award 20 points to lyrics, 50 points to music, and 30 points to performance. In the power category, however, we would change the points in terms of the music and the performance. Lyrics would remain at 20, music would be 30, and the performance would be weighted on 50. So you realize in the power category, the emphasis is going to be on the performance. But in the groovy category, the emphasis is going to be on the music.
Artists who would like to enter the Soca Monarch competition are being invited to a meeting to discuss the criteria and other plans for the reintroduction of the competition.
Because a number of artists have been saying that they are not in any particular band, but they would want to be a part of Culturama in some sort of competition. And so for those persons who would want to enter the soca competition for Culturama 2015, we are having a meeting of all interested persons this week, Thursday, 5:30 p.m. in the conference room of the Nevis Island Administration building. That is the building across from the Best Buy supermarket, downtown Charlestown. And we want to meet with all those interested persons so that we can flesh out the Soca Monarch competition this year. We basically have an idea, a skeleton idea of what we would like to see for the Soca Monarch competition, but we want to have the input of the artists.
Executive Director of the festival's Secretariat, Antonio Liebert. The first Nevis Blues Festival is being described as a hit, and patrons have been given the assurance of a second edition come 2016. Addressing a packed crowd which came out on Saturday, the final night, producer of the festival, Richard Pavitt, thanked all who helped to make the first Nevis Blues Festival a success.
I came to Ireland not knowing what to expect, and then over a period of a year of planning this, I discovered some really, really lovely people. So thank you, Nevis. It's been a pleasure. And Alice has mentioned most people. I've got to mention a couple of people who really, really went beyond beyond the call of duty. The electrician at O'Reilly Beach, Buzz. You have a lot to thank Buzz for. You wouldn't be able to see in the dark if it weren't for him. He worked very, very hard. All his staff, all his crew, Adrian Lamb and his system there. And we have an amazing volunteer camera crew who have been filming this whole thing with the intention of making a TV documentary about it. And that's a good enough friend of mine, Etem Chintas, down here, who's the director, and some other guys on the cameras and recording. Thank you. Yes, next year is definitely going to happen.
The weekend event was a collaboration between the Nevis Blues Festival Committee, the Nevis Island Administration, the St. Kitts and the Nevis Yellow Pages, the U Lounge, and the Oahu Beach Resort.
I guarantee you that we're going to turn this into the classiest music event in the Caribbean within the next 3 years. Now, the musicians, I think Richard had to call in a bunch of favors. The musicians, I cannot thank them enough. They're awesome. I think Nevis has been introduced to some unbelievable guitar playing. But the person who I think needs the biggest round of applause, because he put his trust in Nevis that we could do this. He put his name and his reputation on the line because he's a promoter. And that is Mr. Richard Pavitt, who's sitting next to me. So please give him a lot of noise.
Commenting on the event, Minister of Tourism and Culture, the Honorable Mark Brantley, said it was incredibly well organized. The setting was intimate and sophisticated on the sands at Oahu Beach, and the music was sublime. He says he sees this as becoming a major annual feature for Nevis, and the NIA is committed to supporting the event.
Mr. Lees Gordon, Mr. Justin Merritt, Mr. Zach Harmon. How about it for that band? It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for your spirit. Thank you.
That's it for this evening's edition of the Nevis Newscast. Thank you for viewing. Good night.